Hello, welcome to Let's Talk. My name is Matthew Maris, and I'll be your host. Tonight's hot topic deals with gender and advertisement. Famous scientist Charles Darwin's theory of evolution can play a role in gender and advertisement, and can even explain why sexist ads are portrayed certain ways, and why the creators go about it in the way that they do. Darwin believed that males were the only humans to evolve because of their brain capacity. He argued that females didn't have a big brain capacity like males, thus weren't able to evolve. We can see that this is where the foundation of sexist ads was created. Later in the show, we will look at an ad that goes hand in hand with Darwin's claims on brain capacity. Since we can remember, women have always been treated as unequal in all aspects of life, but most evidently in ads. Women are individuals, and that needs to be respected. Women don't deserve to be treated like sex figures, nor anything less than what they are. In this next segment that we do of Let's Talk, we discuss how women are exploited and used in advertisements. Some of these photos show women posing and or wearing attire that isn't even related to the product itself. Let's take a look at a few of these examples. So first we have the Carefree ad. So in this Carefree ad from a magazine, it focuses on women's minds, however, not in a good way. In the ad, the product suggests that all women only think about are simple things, such as exercise, traveling, and men. As we continue reading, we see that this already had a comment by someone else in which they state, because women never think about politics, the economy, their careers, education, or anything of the substance. This commenter makes a good point, expressing how women are not just simple-minded creatures who are only concerned about little things. They are well-educated people, all differently unique. Another aspect of this ad that discriminates women is the color of the background as well as the product itself. It uses pink, the stereotypical colorful women, when there's a multitude of colors women can be associated with as well. Our next ad is from Al Rifle, and this was a Twitter advertisement that I found where it was made for Valentine's Day and comments on both women's intelligence as well as their physical appearance. So in the left photo, we can see that the walnut shell is filled with walnuts with the text, "Because he's got the brains," implying that men have high intelligence. In the right photo, they show a single walnut with the text, "Because she's got the curves," implying that all women have going for them is their bodies. This is made evident by the word curves, referring to a woman's waists. Something that to also notice is the nuts used for both pictures. In both photos, they used the walnuts, which have different meanings. However, due to them being the same, the nuts used to represent the men's intelligence can be interpreted for the women's as well. The women's picture shows a single walnut, while the male shows a pile, implying that women have a low intelligence. Another one that we have found was one by Proactive, and this is the next ad that we look at. And it was found at a local mall, and as well in many women's magazines, such as 17, a popular ad for teens. In it, Proactive is advertising their acne treatment specifically towards women. The ad draws folks in by playing off the famous ad campaign for Got Milk with their own little spin on it. Got acne? This silly little play on slogan, however, is put in the dark because by the ad's use of pathos in their subheader when reading, "Oh, that's right, you don't have a boyfriend." This quote implies that girls with acne do not have boyfriends and that without the product they never will. Many people, especially women nowadays, are already self-conscious about their outer appearances, and here the ad adds to this awful self-criticism. This is done, however, so that more people will realize their flaws and issues and buy the product to fix it. So our last ad is a Carl's Jr. ad. This is probably the most effective ad that we found. So all ads try enticing their consumers, and this ad for Carl's Jr. is no different. The ad uses famous model Paris Hilton's sexuality to promote their new burger. And by having Hilton pose in the outfit she is wearing while holding the burger, it communicates to consumers that similar to her, the burger is hot, and that consumers, similar to how they will feel towards Hilton, will be satisfied when they go to the restaurant and get a burger themselves. The ad also uses dirty humor throughout it as a sort of pathos, playing with men's sense of humor when stating, "She'll tell you size doesn't matter, she's lying." For the actual ad, this is referring to how big the burger is, how compared to the other ones on the menu. However, they are also using it as a dirtier approach. The dirtier humor continues on the bottom in lower font when it says, it's gonna get messy. Using another dirty approach to entice men. One of the major issues that I noticed when looking at this ad is that these types of ads create a stereotypical or ideal woman. These ads show beautiful and attractive women, and they make it seem as if that's how people should be. However, this shit is bad on them. So we went on the street and got some people's opinions, and here we are. So here I am on the street with
Francine.
All right, Francine, and can you tell me your opinion on what you think about how women are discriminated in ads?
Yes, advertisement has always been sexist towards women. I find it sad that sexuality is used to sell everything and anything these days. I'm not offended by ads that use women to be dressed provocative. I just think, are we that narrow-minded that sexuality has to be used to catch our attention these days? Some advertisements are so provocative, I'm not even sure what the product is that they're selling. I am, however, offended when advertisements belittle women's intelligence. Unfortunately, I don't think this type of advertisement is ever going to change due to the fact that it does sell, and businesses are in the business to sell their product, so they will use and do what they have to sell their product. I do feel advertisement has gotten better throughout the years. They are showing more women being powerful and being strong and doing things that men do, which is great. I think the bottom line is that we have to start in our homes, and we need to raise our daughters to be confident women and be happy within themselves. We also need to teach our sons to be respectful to women and have moral values. And that's pretty much what I have to say about, advertisement today.
All right, well, thank you. So now I'm interviewing
Kristen?
Kristen. All right, and can you tell me your opinion on how you think women are discriminated in ads?
Yeah, I think women are discriminated in ads. I can see it a lot from the food industry to clothing industry to different products across the spectrum of manufacturing. And I think that it isn't fair that women have to be so sexualized in order to sell things. But then again, business are doing what they need to do in order to sell their product, but I think there's other ways that they can go around it. And instead of empowering women like we should, and as this day and age is starting to lift up women's rights and things, I feel like businesses using sexist ads are starting to bring that down in ways. And like there was a famous writer, Sally Slocum, who talked about the need to empower women and to really bring up the characteristics that are in a woman, and I feel like that is what we're starting to do in our current day, but yet these sexist ads are starting to make us take 2 steps back in that aspect, because they are showing women and young girls like, oh, you're only what your body can bring for you, you're nothing, like you can't have your intelligence, and they belittle us in that way. And I think that we need to go against that stereotype, no matter if you're for or against these sexist ads, and instead of just letting it pass us by in every day and accepting this, we need to start voicing our opinions on this and fighting back and showing that it isn't okay to use sexuality as a way to promote different objects or different products in the business. And I think that we all just need to step up and use our voices.
All right, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, and here I am with
Janelle.
And Janelle, what is your opinion on how women are discriminated in ads?
Well, me personally, I'm fine with just how I am, the way I look. So I personally feel as if, if men view a woman this way that they are advertised, then that's what they're gonna want. Not necessarily that's what all guys want and they visualize their woman to be as, but it's really at the end of the day, it just depends on how confident you are, and if you're gonna let some advertisement of a woman define who you are as a person, then I just say, hey, that's your lack of confidence, because I'm fine with how I am.
All right, then. All right, well, thank you for your time.
No problem.
All right, back to you, Matthew. All right, thank you for that. So, as you can see on our show today with our 3 guests, the opinion on sexist ads varies, which translates to the outside world, in which there are many opinions on sexist ads. Whether you support or disapprove of sexist ads, it's something that is embedded in everyday life, so it's something that we should pay attention to. And no matter the degree or if a message is subliminal or not, sexist ads are always around us and influence where we shop and what we buy. So next time you see a sexist ad, don't just dismiss it, but take a deeper look at it and ask yourself if it's really necessary to sell whatever the product is. And that's it right now for Let's Talk, and I hope you join us next time.